Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So as the title says, we stopped saving money. Okay, so let me get into the details before you guys be like, girl, what do you mean you stopped saving money? What I mean is that we have become 100% focused on investing. Now, one thing that we had to really kind of learn and understand before getting into that type of mentality is to really understand money. Now, growing up, no one that I knew anyway was really responsible with finance or money. We weren't taught it in the schools, at least, in the inner city schools. Through the family, there was no conversations about money. Actually, it was quite the opposite. And I know sometimes people may say, well, we don't discuss money or politics or, sex or anything like that. But the fact of the matter is that children are coming in contact with those things, whether it's directly or indirectly, and it's always better that it comes from a trusting, reliable source, especially inside of the family. It could be a parent, it could be a sibling, it can be an auntie, uncle, a grandparent, and money is one of those things that just weren't discussed when I was growing up. And I remember when I met my husband and entering into this relationship, money was still a very taboo, uncomfortable topic for me to talk about. So was saving money. Now, growing up, saving money was not something that was a thing. I mean, a lot of the people that I grew up with, family, friends, neighbors, were big into the check cashing places or the payday loan places. And if they were saving money, it was on themselves. So, I mean, people would put money in their bras. People would hide money in their homes and shoe boxes under the bed and pillowcases. I mean, everywhere you would be able to find money. And when a lot of the people that I knew and grew up with started to put their money in banks, it almost became like a crutch. And when I say a crutch, I mean it was just the only thing that we knew was, you need to save some money. So you put the money in the bank for a rainy day, and that was it. But the thing was, the money wasn't growing, and there always happened to be raining days. And I remember as we continue, I say we, my husband and myself, were continuing to go through our marriage and working out all of our money problems. We wanted to know, how could we grow the money that we were saving? So the money we were saving for the rainy days or when life happens, because they always happen, how could we make that money grow while we were waiting, while it was waiting on us, to, if something happened, to withdraw from it? And I remember hearing about Dave Ramsey and the whole paying off your debt and the baby steps, and just hearing about investing. And I didn't know anything really about investing. Nobody in my family knew about it. They didn't teach it in school, so it wasn't like it was something I came into knowing. And I can tell you that when I first started investing, I was really, really hesitant about it because, number one, I didn't want to lose any of the hard earned money that, we had worked so hard to save up and put aside. And the other thing is that, again, it was like this distrust idea in my mind about the stock market, and that's just not something we do. When I say we, I mean like Black people. It's not something we do. That's something for just certain types of people. And right then and there, having the wrong mindset in terms of money, in terms of finance, is not just something that is for a certain type of people. But again, when you have lack of education, lack of knowledge and understanding in different types of matters and subjects and situations, this is the type of stuff that passes down through generations. And one of the things my husband and myself did is we read and we did research. And we wanted to know, okay, if we wanted to invest, how can we make sure that we make safe investments? Because the market does go up and it does go down. But how can we make sure we make safe, good long-term investments so that over time our money can grow? And one of the things we had to do was, number one, we had to have extra money to invest. And when I say that we were, or not my husband, but myself mostly, because I was the manager of the money, was so reliant on saving. I did not want to not save. I did not want to not have nothing. I was telling myself, well, I'd rather just have what I put aside versus putting it in the stock market and risking something happening to it. And when I started to do some more research and I started to see that over time, if you make solid, smart investments on a consistent basis, that it will grow. And then you look at all the data and all the metrics and the trends, and you see that, wow, the stock market does go up. Now, it ebbs and flows, but it does trend up over time. And then you start to read, oh, I would start to read and educate myself on the Warren Buffetts and the different ones who didn't come from a whole lot, but was able through solid investing and management was able to grow their money to become wealthy. Then I started to think, maybe this is something that I can do. And then I started to see more people that looked like me that was investing. And this is one of the great things that I think helped really catapult our investing journey, especially in the last like 2 or 3 years or so. And that's social media. And this is the good side of social media, is that you can get exposed to so many different types of people from so many different types of places from all walks of life doing the thing that you are interested in. So in terms of investing, I would see people like me who didn't come from a whole lot and was able to overcome their fears of, pausing their savings and investing. Now, when I say we stopped saving, because this is important, we have an emergency fund in place. We have a 6.5 month emergency fund in place, and we still do put money towards our sinking funds. But in terms of having an emergency fund, this was something that was really challenging as well, is to stop. It's like, and it's not stopping forever. It's just pausing. 6.5 months is pretty good. I would love to get to a year, but I can work on that slowly, through the rest of the year. But in terms of the returns that I could be getting from the stock market and different types of asset classes is much greater. And I feel like if the investments that I'm in have proven to give great returns year over year over year over year, or we're investing in companies that have good track records, have good management, have good services and products that will be around, for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, I can be confident knowing that I'm not gambling. This is another thing that helped me to, when I say stop saving, like be satisfied with what we have and just move strictly to investing. And it's the whole mentality is I'm an investor. I'm not a gambler or a trader. And those are two different types of people, a trader and an investor. An investor is someone who is buying into a stock or fund or security or any type of entity with the idea that over time they'll get a return back on their money that they put in. Versus a trader or a gambler, most like what I'm trying to say is will just try to find something that's really popular right now, jump in it, and hope to get rich overnight. And those are the types of strategies that will cause you to lose your savings account. And this is another thing that made us more confident to stop investing, is that we don't invest with our emergency fund. That was something I had learned a few years ago. Do not invest with your emergency fund. Do not invest with your bill money. Keep that all to the side and a separate account. It should not be associated in any way with the stock market. And that's where our savings account is. And though it's getting a tiny bit of interest in terms of a high yield savings, I mean, because the interest is not a whole lot, like 0.5% or something like that. But still, knowing that that money for our emergency fund is sitting to the side in case something happens. We also have our sinking funds that, we'll be able to fill in if, the car needs to be repaired, kids need clothes, things like that. It's okay. It's like, you don't have to keep saving, and you're not really gaining a whole lot. Though you may be able to save $1, $2, and you see your account go up, it could go up a lot more investing it into the stock market. And that was something that helped my husband and myself be able to kind of go full-fledged into investing. Another thing is that we discovered FIRE, which is financial independence, retire early. Well, I learned that you can't retire early just saving. It's not going to work. You have to have your money out there really working hard for you. It's the same with investing in real estate. Though it would have been nice, and I'm not going to lie, to save all that money we put down on the second rental property that we closed on, putting that money into an asset is what is going to yield the biggest return. And like I said, mentality plays a lot into this, because growing up, we got to have cash on us at all times. And we weren't realizing that inflation was a very real thing. And I remember hearing so much growing up about how much bread used to cost and how much cheese and gas and, different things used to cost, homes used to cost back in the day. Well, maybe this time that we're living in now will be considered the back in the day. And 20 years into the future, we'll be telling our children and grandchildren, I remember in 2021 when gas was this and when this was this. And I could be also telling them, but I also invested money into the market and I'm able to beat inflation and share with you some of the ways that I learned how I was able to get out of that mindset. Now, I'm not saying saving is not good, because I think savings is a great way to start your financial wealth building journey, but it can't just stop there. You can't just stop it at savings. You have to invest your money. And some of the things that helped, some of the other things that has helped us when it comes to investing was watching people on YouTube. Now, when I say watch people on YouTube, I mean people that show their numbers, because it's really easy to just kind of spew out a lot of general information or say, oh, go invest here or put your money in there. But if they don't show anything, like how much skin do you have in the game? Show me what you are doing. Pull up some of your accounts. Those are the people that I tend to gravitate to. The next thing is finding reputable sources to research. I love Yahoo Finance. I talked about them before. Motley Fool is another one. Market Watch. You can type in the ticker symbols, and that's just the easy way to recognize the company. Or you can just type the stock company or the mutual fund out, and it'll give you all the information, the profile of who's the management, how much revenue they have, products and services, maybe dividends if they pay a dividend. Also, the brokerages can be a really, really great resource that helped us. Fidelity and Vanguard, that will show you and talk to you and have free resources in terms of how to educate you on ETFs, virtual versus index funds, and making sure your portfolio is balanced, all free. And there are some places that will professionally manage your portfolios, but we feel like because of education and understanding and just time, we have been able to manage it ourselves. And like I said, YouTube and Instagram and just different forums and just a whole bunch of podcasts and different things, audiobooks that are free to use, that can help you become more confident in investing. Because I can tell you, when we first started investing, it felt very scary. It felt like we shouldn't be here. We don't know what we're doing. And let's just continue to save. And like I said, once we started to see more people like us, more people that would sit down in front of a camera and talk, face to face, like, I know it seems scary, but, watch our journey. If we can do it, you can do it too. And so, yes, we stopped in saving. We have our emergency fund, we have our sinking funds, and we are okay. It's okay to kind of really pivot and put 100% of our, extra monies outside of like vacations and gifts, because you want to live now. You want to be able to enjoy your family and life now. But in terms of saving for the future, investing, that's where all of our extra money is going. And you know what? It's okay. I think sometimes you feel like the emergency fund you set aside for yourself isn't enough, but you wrote down how much your expenses are, you times it by 6 or 3 or 12, whatever your goal is. Because, personal finance is personal. You have to make, do what's best for your family. We figured 6 was, was a good place for us. And once we had that number and we exceeded or met that number, it was okay to kind of move to the next level. And it's about growth. It's about going to the next level. And that was something that we were okay with. And I'm telling you, it has been one of the best things we could have done. Just seeing the returns, seeing the progress, seeing the growth in our accounts. If we would have not saved anything, if we would have not invested anything and just saved it, we would have had $20,000 versus $200,000. I'm dead serious, because like I always say, the market always comes back. And if you're consistent and your dollar cost averaging or just following whatever strategy you have for yourself, the market always comes back. There are too many billionaires and millionaires for the stock market not to work. And not just the stock market, maybe in other asset classes that you can invest in. Like I mentioned, cryptocurrency, which is becoming really popular. Real estate, which is also popular. These are all different mediums you can use that we are using to get to financial freedom. So again, guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I wanted just to sit down and really share about why we stopped saving and just really focusing on building our investing portfolio. So if you have any questions, leave them down below. I love chatting with you guys. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and share this video with a friend so that we can get more people to the promised land. And until next time, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye, guys.